Okay, let's leave that p-value aside. Now let's talk about this term, these other terms. So we have confidence level. It's a very important term. You're going to hear it every time. And the confidence level that we usually work with is 95%, okay? Because this is the range that we're working with. Again, there are other ranges that you could find from that z-score table, right? It could be 90%, 95, 99%. There's many things you can find. Now we're working with 95. It's an academic standard, so your teacher will tell you what level they want you to use. They're never going to leave it to you to choose which level to use. They're always going to say, use a 95 or use a 99 or use a 90%. So don't worry about that. Just know how to convert this confidence level, right, which is also known as the range that we're using, into a z-score so you can calculate the confidence interval like we did earlier. Now, there's also alpha. Alpha is usually represented by 0.05. So if you remember that thing, we're going to talk about alpha in a second, but alpha is 0.05 because it's 5%, okay? Because it represents this red area outside of your distribution. It represents the tails of a distribution that's outside the 95% range. So it's not a coincidence. Like your 5% is derived from that 95, right? So it's 9%, 95% range. It means that there's a 5% out, and this is your alpha, okay? But represented in decimals. So really in your brain, learn how to convert like from decimals to percentages back and forth. This is very important, right? Because it's 2.5 and 2.5% on each side, and we add them up together. Cool. Now, your confidence level and your alpha, they walk hand in hand, okay? 95% to 5%. Now, let's change your confidence level. Let's say your teacher tells you to work with a 90% confidence level. What does that mean? That means you're working with a 10% alpha, 0.10 alpha, okay? And your tails, if you can see here, the tails, they grew a little bit inwards, okay? Just by comparison, this is 95, this is 90, 95, 90, okay? Now we have 5% on each side, and it's, they grew inwards, et cetera, okay? 5% plus 5%, that's 10%, that's why it's 10%, et cetera. Now, we stick to 95% and 0.05 by default.